Hello again, everyone. Sometimes I get sent things, craft items, some by really kind crafters who have heard me mention that I've been searching or trying to find a particular product, couldn't find it, was out of stock or whatever, and I have been sent those things by people from, all parts of the world, actually. It is astonishing. Sometimes I am sent things by craft companies to see what I think of them, what I could do with them. And what I have in my hand is one such case in point. I was approached by someone from this company. They're called Craft Addiction UK. And would I like to try some of their products? Well, I looked on the website and I think they must be kind of a startup because there's not a huge amount on the website at the moment, but I think it's, a thing that's going to develop. So anyway, I was sent this Woodland dye and my first thought was, oh my goodness, isn't it huge? Now, the sort of dyes that I've been dealing with recently, the Gummiapan ones, are just tiny. I know this is one of the freebies, but this is a similar sort of size to lots of the Gummiapan dyes. And so you can see the kind of dilemma, really. However, there are some smaller dyes within this, and the larger piece has the advantage of either being able to be used, those two pieces together, which would make a complete cutout, or just using this one, which would make an aperture into a front panel. So let me get going and get this kind of sorted. So I'm going to take this off, and I will probably spend a couple of minutes just getting rid of all the tiddly bits. So I don't know if people actually have ever seen me take things off dyes, but take dyes apart. But I don't like that because that's going to make a hole in the card. What I use is a little file, and I just file them down. But let's try and we'll just take these out. Some obviously come out more easily than others. These ones look as if they're pretty good because there is there's a kind of a kink just next to where it's going to come off. So if you take them down, they should come off easily. I made the mistake of twisting that, which is why I got that lump. So bear that in mind. Do as I say, not as I do. Right, there's my outer dye, but I will just file that before I start using it. Taking the little ones off these. These are just dye nips. I think I got these from Seven Hills Crafts, but I'm sure you can get them in lots of places. So we've got 3 little bunnies and we've got 2 butterflies. So yes, they come off really easily. I did make a bit of a pig's breakfast of getting that first one off, so I will have to rectify that. I twisted it instead of just snapping it, so bear in mind. Right, the first thing I obviously do with nearly everything is just to cut it out. So with a bit of scrap, I'm just going to cut out the bunnies, and then we'll talk about what I'm going to do with the other stuff presently. Okay. So there are my little bits. Let's put the dyes on a magnet, and we'll see what we're doing. The gentleman that I spoke to who sent me this set of dyes said he wanted to make some new dyes, and did I have any ideas? And one thing that I think would be fabulous to have easily available, particularly in the UK, is embossing dyes, those ones that I put in backgrounds like stars and snowflakes and all sorts. If there was a range of those, I think that would be absolutely ace. Okay, this is one of the little files I've used, and I've just smoothed off the edge there, because if this is going to be an aperture dye, this is going to affect the front of the card that the aperture is going to be in. Okay, I'll just pop that in my little tool caddy at the back there, pop my nips into the drawer, and I made a set here, or one of each, of the 3 largest cards that I can make from a sheet of A4, and that is what I use, always A4. This is the largest square card I can make from that, and you can see that this just about fits in. The cutting line is on the inside of here, so it will fit on, but there's not going to be a whole heap of space top and bottom. So that's that one. That's my largest square. The next one I do is a 5x7, and this is its panel. And let's have a look at this one. That one will just about do. That would just about make it the inside. If I cut the whole thing out and put it on, that would make it, you know, a bit impossible, because it's practically to the edge of that panel. So that's that one. This one is just a complete sheet of A4 folded in half and a front panel cut. And to cut the front panel, I just used half a sheet of A4 and took 1 centimetre off the top and the side. So that one would make quite pleasing proportions, but I don't often make cards this size. It's not impossible, but I don't often go to cards this size. It's normally for something kind of a special occasion. So let's just start with the 5x7 first of all. I can always have a go at this one later. So my idea was this in the back of my head. If I cut that from there, let me just do that. I still think it's going to be a bit tight, but see, we'll see. Let's see. I can always go on to the other one afterwards. Right. There's my panel. Here's my card. What to do behind it? Well, I was fishing through some of my drawers and I came across this. It's just a piece of copy paper that I must have printed with a download from somewhere like Pingwing or Hungry JPEG or something like that. And I did wonder what a bit of this would look like behind. And I think that looks kind of nice. It looks a little bit like a meadow, doesn't it? Just there, what do you think? This is, my mind is seeing a hillside coming down here like this and the sky behind and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I thought might be quite nice behind there. So I will cut that off to size to go behind. Just wondering whether to have this raised or flat. Raised looks quite nice actually, doesn't it? We might have it raised. Okay, that's that. Now what I was thinking was, do I do something with this re-stamping or words to that effect, some form of something to add a bit of interest maybe. And I wondered if these could be just kind of peeking into the scene. Let's just look and see. That one's, the whole of it is not quite where his eye should be. Let's have a look. I think we could have some just kind of behind like that. This one. The trouble is that's a bigger one, isn't it? It's all right though. It's okay. This could be the baby. Like that. It's kind of simple, but I think it will kind of work, don't you? Pure and simple. A little sentiment. I'm just wondering if there's anything else I could put, but I quite like that. I do quite like that. I will have a think and see if I can come up with anything. I may just add a little bit more colour. Let me just do that. A little bit more colour just in here. If I put a line around where I want it, where did I have it? About there. About there. If I just draw a line around the outside of this, I'll know which bit I'm kind of working on, really. A line there, line there, line there, and a line there. Okay, I'm going to be working within this bit here. And that is the bottom of the... Yeah, that's about the bottom of the card there. And the top is about there. Okay. Right. What I'm thinking is darkening the bit at the top. I'm just going to do a bit of inking, I think, for the minute. Maybe a bit of stamping. So just darkening in here. So what colour goes with that? Let us see. Mermaid, Lagoon, thinking. Salty Ocean. I think Salty Ocean might be the chat. Okay, here's my Salty Ocean brush. Doesn't look like I've used it much. No, I'm going in this bit. That's the top of the sky, so it's coming into this bit here. Oh, I don't know if I like this too much. I'm not too keen on this, I don't think. No, that's a bit too bright. Come back. Mermaid Lagoon should have been the one, shouldn't it, really, I think. Let's see what this one's like. Mermaid Lagoon. Pop that in there. Doesn't look a whole heap of difference, does it, really? Just going to go with a bit of something deeper at the top. So chipped sapphire is the next one I thought of, just to darken that top bit. Let's take a look. That's a bit more interesting, isn't it? Again, I'll bring a bit of green up from the bottom, I think. So what do we want by way of green from the bottom? Onto warm green. Peeled paint, one of my favourites. Let's do peeled paint. Okay, peeled paint it is. We're about here. Okay. Oh, that's a good match there, isn't it? Just feather that out a bit. It's quite nice. It's an interesting background, isn't it? I don't know what it was called or where it's from, but you can see it's been sculling around for a very long time, so it's quite a good thing to use up, I would think. Now, I do just fancy a bit of random something or other to just a bit of interest. So dots or spots or splats or something. Let me just see. Gorgeous grunge. I'm thinking these things just generally all over. Let me pop this onto I think I'll put it onto a block. But what to do? White. I'll try a bit of white. This is a case of point of some people sending me something. This lovely lady in France, Marie, knew I was after this white ink, couldn't find it. She found some, sent it to me, which I thought was amazing. So grateful. I don't like that on this, in this particular occasion, so I will go over that with the chipped sapphire. Okay. And a bit more of the Mermaid Lagoon. That's better. So that was not a good idea to do that. It's just this bit needs a bit of something now, doesn't it? Although I don't know, I think it'll be fine. I think it will be fine. The little rabbits, I think I'm going to leave white. I don't think I'm going to put butterflies into this. I don't think we're going to just go with the whole 9 yards. I don't think so. Although that's not bad, actually. But this, it's kind of large for the rabbit, isn't it, really? Would you agree? So, oh, we've got 4 rabbits. I didn't miss one out. Aren't they cute? I want something in here. Can't think what. Let me cut that out and put it onto the card. So, if I can vaguely see the lines. One line is there. One is here. I may have to trim it a bit more. Come inside this one. Oh, I didn't cut enough there. I can still see plenty of the line. Don't want that. Okay. And where's the top line? There. Okay. Need to cut a bit more off the top. Okay. I'm quite pleased. That looks quite nice, surprisingly. Right, I'm just going to put this together and I think we'll have kind of a card. So, foam tape onto this one. That's what I was worried about. Just see that? Suddenly saw a bit of blue on the desk. I think that's a very good place for a rabbit. That rabbit that was peeking round here somewhere, which one was he? That was this one. Just in there. He's stuck to that, that's great. There's going to be one down here on the little splodge. We'll have him over there. And perhaps, I think kind of like that really. Okay, the others are okay. I just wanted to make sure that one found its way in before I put the whole thing onto the backdrop. He should stay in perfectly because he's stuck to that that piece of foam tape. Right. And on. There we are. That is going to go on here. We're going to stick the other few rabbits. Let me just get rid of the rubbish and then... to get a little bit of glue. And we need a sentiment. I will look out for something. We can pop that on in a moment. This one. That one I think can go there. This one just here on the little daub of ink. What a useful place for it to go if it was going to go anywhere. Somewhere I can cover it up. So we've got a little family over that side. And this chap over this side here, stick this one on. Then I'll go and look for a sentiment and I'll be back. I think a stamped sentiment, but I don't know what yet, so let's just see. Looks as if they've got something to look at in the distance, doesn't it? Okay, I'll be back very soon with a sentiment. A little rummage through my stamps, and I was bothered about the lack of something in here, and I suddenly remembered cardio stamps, which are absolutely minuscule. So through various packs, I found a tiny little, it's like a dandelion thing that floats through the air. So I had a little practice on here in various colours of ink, and I wondered if black would be a bit too harsh for everything else, but it might do. And I've got a little dragonfly and this little doodad, dandelion clock, whatever you call it. The sentiment I picked was one of these. I wanted something very small to go in there, and this is a clearly besotted one. I think this is probably still, well, not still. I think it is probably retired, but I've got to get well soon. It's called Simple Script. So I stamped that and embossed it with a little silver and cut it out with this little tiny, what did I do with it? This one here. This little sentiment strip, just making it slightly shorter by cutting from both ends. I'm sure you've seen me do that many, many times before. So there's my sentiment. I'm going to pop it on there, but I'm going to try adding some of these into this gap. Not absolutely sure if it's going to be successful, but I'm not happy with it as it is, so we might as well have a go. And the question is, what colour do I do it with? I've just had a thought, actually. I was wondering, I'll try that. What just came into my head was, how about if I stamped it with Versamark and then just rubbed a little Luscious powder over it? I'm just going to try it. I don't know what colour Luscious powder. I'll try it on a bit of this kind of stuff just to see, you know, what the effect is. I'm thinking deep blue, deep green. I don't know if I've got anything deep enough. Maybe just the blackbird. That's a sort of a shiny black. I'll try a couple and see what kind of what happens. The There's a green, is that green gold? Copper green. Copper green. I've got a grungy gold or something. What's it called? Grungy gold, that's that one. So let me try just a few of those on a scrap and see what happens, to see what it looks like. I'll keep that out of the way for the minute, because I'm actually quite pleased with that. It's a lovely dye, actually. And now I've managed to, you know, work out how to use it on one of my cardstock sizes. You know, I think it works well. Love trees, absolutely love trees. Let's get that off there. I've been trying all sorts of different coloured inks for these. You can see on this little scrap here. So let's just have a see. Well, here's my Versamark. I've had this out for doing the sentiment. So let's just... Let's just see what that looks like. Let's try... What's this one? Copper green. Copper green. It's quite nice, isn't it? I think that might be the answer, actually. To do Luscious powder rather than just a stamped ink. Let me see what this looks like. Let me Swiffer. Don't know if that green is the one to choose. Let's try it with some of the blackbird. Let's just see if that works. There's the blackbird. It doesn't shine as much. Hasn't got quite as much twinkle. We'll try the grungy gold and see what that does. While we're going, we might as well keep going, mightn't we? I've got these out. The other alternative would be to do one of the cast ones. Copper green, grungy gold, this is the one. Quite a lot of twinkle in this one. Well, if I used that, I'd have to redo the sentiment and do gold for that, wouldn't I? Which I may well do. Let's have the grungy gold and I'll redo the sentiment. Right, decision made. Oh dear, the paths we take. Right, let's just have a go. So, let me do my sentiment. There was a bit of scrap somewhere or other. Here's the sentiment. Here is. I like to stamp it the right way up for some obscure reason. It's silly, isn't it? Okay. Emboss with gold. These powders are always just within arm's reach. Okay, that's great. I don't know what it is about clearly besotted dyes, but when you stamp them to emboss, the embossing is just beautiful. It comes up beautifully rounded. Sometimes you find it looks a bit sparse and flat, but my goodness, they're fabulous. Right, let's just cut this out. I'll use a bit of tape to hold it in position while I do one end, and then we'll turn it around and do the other end. Get well soon. Always want these kind of cards, don't we? Okay, we've cut one end. We'll take off our die. Oh, daisy. Turn it round. Put it on the other end. And just stick that down. I've been doing this technique for donkey's years, and I'm happy to say that quite a few people have kind of cottoned on to the idea now, because it does make your dies a lot more versatile. So that's all to the good. Right, so there's my sentiment in gold. That can go onto there. Okay, now we'll do some of the, I think I'll do a couple of the little dragonflies, and then a bunch of the, whatever they are, the fronds of, it looks like dandelion to me. I don't know what it is really, but it's fine. Right, a couple of dragonflies, and I'm going to use, let me put those away. I'm going to use the Grungy gold. Pop those back in the box. Right, here we go. Right, a couple of those. Now a whole bunch of these little chaps. Let's see how many we've got before I go any further, and then we can always add more if I need to. Okay. You only need the merest amount of this on a brush. Okay. We'll have a few more, I think. There's one down there. We just swiffer this away. Pop this onto the card. Let's get it straight. Well, there we go. So thanks for the introduction, Craft Addiction UK. I hope you do well. I love this. I do love this this die, and used without its frame, obviously is usable for me on a smaller card base, which is great. So there's a bit of versatility there. So as ever, thanks for watching. Thanks for giving a thumbs up and subscribing, and come back and see me very soon.